Hi guys, good evening, good afternoon. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir, you are audible.
yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess I need not connect to the earphones then. Is it fine? Is my voice perfectly audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, welcome to the PM class. I could see many familiar faces over here. Those all who had learned FR from me in the previous quarter. How many of you are new students over here, like learning with me from the first time? I see Shilpa, Dipanshu, they were there with me in the previous class. Me, okay. I guess majority of you are new students. Okay, that's fine. Kanika, I guess even you were there in the previous attempt with me, or no, for the FR?
Yeah, hi. No, this is my first class.
Okay, so this is your first. Okay. So this is the consistency streak that second batch I got a student named Kanika. Previous batch also I had one student named Kanika. Okay, so guys, a quick small introduction before we start. Just a minute, I'll just drop the curtains there for the light. Okay, so guys, just a small introduction of me before we start with the PM class. I am Bhavik Waghela, your ACCA, an ACCA faculty. I myself am ACCA qualified. I am having a 10 years, almost a 10 years of teaching experience for now. Now, also I have a 4 years of experience of corporate experience, what I can say. In my corporate experience, I was majorly into IFRS. So, I used to help the clients prepare their financial statements in compliance with IFRS and the Ind AS and Singapore FRS and so on. So that's all about me. This is my second quarter with VGLD. Okay. So generally I take the subjects FR and PM at VGLD. Okay. On weekends. So that's all about me. Now, before we start with the session, I want everyone's camera to be on. I will set certain rules which we all will be following throughout our PM lectures. Okay. So firstly, the cameras always stay on. Second, we keep our mics on mute always. Third, you have any query, you have an option to raise your hand. So you can raise your hand. I will call out your name and then you can, ask me your question. Everyone. So these three are the rules that we will be following throughout. Fourth one, no using mobile phones. Again, you will be following throughout. No using mobile phones in between the lectures. And fifth one, I want 100% attendance throughout. Okay. I see certain students, they attending and then what they do is, uh, start watching the recordings. They start watching the recordings, guys. Now, what happens once you start watching the recordings is, you get you the consistency breaks. Any doubt that you have, you don't then come to me. Those doubts do not come to me. Those doubts remain with you forever. And then what you do is you start taking any particular subject as a tricky one that we are not able to do. So try to remain in touch with me as much as possible. Okay. As in, try to remain in touch, as in, attend the live lectures. Okay. I will be putting my numbers in the chat box. And regarding the phone number, the number that I'm giving, I will be like I will remain in contact from Monday to Friday only, not on Saturdays and Sundays, as I am in the lectures throughout. You guys can contact me from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. So any doubt you have, any question you have, you can reach out to me either via text or a call. And before calling me, you just leave me a text that, sir, I am your PM student from VGLD. I want to connect on a call. Please suggest a time. So generally, I don't answer any calls from unknown numbers. So if you leave a text, it helps me know that, okay, This is my student that is trying to call me. So let me put my number in the chat box. Please guys save it. And I have seen certain students having a practice of, treating my WhatsApp chat as their personal diary. They send all the doubts, and those doubts come at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Please do not do this. Okay. My net remains on throughout the night, so I get the notifications, and that's what. Okay. So I will be available on phone or text if you want to reach out to me directly anytime from Monday to Friday, Thursday, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. Okay. No, Priyanshi, there is no group that is created for now. If you guys want, you can create one and you can make me a part of it. The group name should be PM December 2025. Okay. So any one of you can make the group. Okay. How many of you are from exemption route, and is this your very first paper for PM? How many of you like giving the PM as the first paper? Just raise your hand. You have an option to raise your hand. Okay. So we all didn't study any paper in the knowledge level, right? So this is the very first skill level paper that we are writing. Okay. So that helps me decide the flow. Okay. Now, guys, talking about PM, it is quite a logical subject. No theory, nothing like no rule based, nothing. It's quite logical. So this is something that I find interesting about PM. You have to apply your brains. It's more of, what I say is logical and interesting. Unlike IFRS, where they give you a rule, you have to follow that rule. So here, every question that we come across will be different kind of. Okay. So what we will be learning here, see, first we will be understanding concepts, the logic behind the concepts. Because once you know the concepts, you understand the logic, then only you are able to apply it. I have seen students memorizing things. Now, never memorize it, guys. Okay. Now, in exam, also, what will happen is you must have learned concepts, but the question would be a kind of different to what we have done. Now, I won't say a hard level, more hard or something like that. No, it will be based on the concepts that we have learned in the class. Okay. So, to be able to, solve the questions within the time frame, okay, these questions, logical questions within the time frame, we will be practicing these questions as much as possible. Okay. Now about the practice, I'll be sharing all the rules and regulations right away, which you guys will be following throughout our PM batch. Okay. Now, how many of you have received the ACCA credentials? The ACCA portal credentials, ACCA website. Just raise your hands. Okay. So all those who have not received, I guess you must have just registered right now, right? You must have just submitted your documents with VGLD just right now, right? Okay. So in that case, I will suggest you guys to remain in touch with the support team. They will be helping you out with this. So I'm just telling you and showing you what will be your duties at the end of every chapter that we do in PM. So let us say we are done with cost and management accounting. So you will go to the study hub, okay, and you will be practicing certain questions. So I am showing you what I am expecting from you guys after the end of every chapter. Because see, PM is quite practical and logical subject. The more you practice, the more easy it becomes for you. Okay. Students, they generally what they do is they just watch the lectures. The questions that I practice in class, they do not, what I say is practice the questions on their own. They just run through the solution. And 20 days ahead of the exam, they say, sir, PM is quite tricky. I'm not able to manage it. Now, this is the reason where students, struggle in PM. They say that PM is quite tough subject. It's not tough, guys. The more you practice, the more easy it becomes for you. Now, believe me, I was an average student, not a bright or intelligent student at my time when I was a student. I managed to clear my PM paper with 65 in the first attempt. So it's manageable. I will share all the logics and tricks. but you clearing PM in the first attempt is directly proportional to the number of questions that you practice. Okay, in self-study. See, in class, we will be practicing many questions. Okay, so all those who are my FR student, you know my practice. Per chapter, we solve 8 to 12 questions. And in addition to that, I give some homework questions as well. I'll discuss everything today, guys. The paper pattern, the topics that we will be having, how to approach this chapter, and so on. We will be discussing everything today. Okay. So just let me walk you through the what I say is the study hub. So once you log into your portal, you will get this window. Here you will have to go to my qualification. You click on my qualification on the left hand side. You then scroll down. You get study hub. Click on study hub. Now here you will have to select the subject performance management. This one for exams from September 2025 to June 2026, performance management. You'll have to study. Click on study. Now these are the chapters that we will be doing in PM. We have a total of 18 chapters. Okay. All are quite practical and logical. No rule based, nothing. Formulas also, I will be sharing the logics with you as much as possible. And trust me, guys, I will not be boring you guys with the theory today on the first lecture. Because first impression is the last impression. I don't want the first impression to be boring and dry. Okay, the theory is quite boring and dry. So I always keep what I say is theory chapters towards the end. So we will be starting with chapter number 2, that is cost and management accounting. Okay, here the sequence is different. And in your VGLD also, I guess the sequence is the same only, but the sequence that I will be following will be a bit different. Okay, but be assured we will be covering entire syllabus. We will be doing everything in class. Just the sequence will be different. I will be telling you the topics that we will be doing a day ahead. Okay, in every class. Now, if you see, you have chapters in here. Okay, we have 18 chapters. Now have a look at the left hand side. We have practice session and quiz section. Okay, we have two section, practice and quiz. So practice questions are something that I myself do in class with you guys. Okay, so we have chapter wise questions here. Okay, so if you see, each chapter has different number of questions. So on an average, we will be doing anywhere between 10 to 15 questions per chapter, and these will be exam standard questions. Now I will be sharing the paper pattern also. Okay, so you guys get to know that, okay, what type of questions we get in PM. So I'm just showing you study hub for now. So see, these are the number of questions that I have actually done in class. Theory, this was quite straightforward, so I did not do it the last time. I just do the theory part, okay? Because theory is quite manageable. It is quite straightforward once we do the theory. So these are the number of questions that we have done in the class in the previous PM batch, okay? Correct? So study questions you don't have to do, guys. You just have to do till revision cases and constructed response, chapter 18, transfer pricing. Please do not do non-exam style. Please do not do any study questions. Okay, it will be your waste of time. We have to do the OT revision questions and the revision cases. Okay, so if you want, you can note this down. We just have to do OT revision questions and revision cases. Okay, now let us say we are done with cost accounting in class. So what I will be doing is I will be practicing questions on cost accounting. So we will be doing 9 questions on cost accounting. Now I will see if do we have revision cases, do we have cost accounting? Yes, we do have. Okay. So every chapter wise question we will be doing in class. Now cost accounting is chapter number 2. So what you will be doing is the quizzes will be your homework. Now let us say this week we are done with cost accounting. Today we are done with cost accounting. Just an example. So over the week, your homework will be to go through what we have done in class firstly. And secondly, you will be going to the quizzes section, and quizzes section, chapter number 2 will be your homework, 5 questions per chapter. So in the quiz section, you have 5 questions per chapter, and these are all the exam standard question, guys. All the exam standard questions. Okay, everyone. So practice questions, I will be doing it myself in the class, and quizzes, you guys will be doing it. Okay. Okay. And what I will suggest for you guys is to practice questions on Study Hub only. Even if it is a classwork question, do it on Study Hub because it gives you the statistics. It will also help you work on your speed, guys. See, it gives you average answer time, average correct answer time, average incorrect answer time. And one more thing, if there are 15 questions in a chapter, then I do not do all the 15. I do somewhere around 10 to 12. So I am doing majority of the questions. Understood? So in that way, there are high chances that you will be covering the entire questions because we have a time frame of 70 hours. I have to complete the entire syllabus with the concepts and questions practice within 70 hours. So it will practically be not be possible for me to solve all 400 to 450 questions in class. We will be doing close to around 150 to 200 questions in class. Everyone got this? So this will be your homework by default. Sir, what if we have any doubt? Then I have put my number in the chat box. You can text me any time from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday to Friday. Everyone. But I will try to solve the doubts as much as possible in the class itself. The reason being, I get the same doubt from 5 different students. Understood. So let us say one, and all the 5 of them will not text me at the same time. I will receive it in installments. So what I suggest is if you have any doubts, you can keep it noted. Every Saturday and Sunday towards the end of the class, I reserve 10 to 15 minutes for doubt solving only. Okay. So the last 10 to 15 minutes will be your time. You get your chance to speak. You have any doubt, you want to ask anything and so on. Everyone understood the expectations, that what will be my expectations during our PM batch? Guys, consistency is the key. You will have to be consistent with this assignment that I have given. Okay. The more you practice, high chances of you passing. Okay. Now, guys, let me come to the paper pattern and all the basic stuff. I will assume zero knowledge. So I will teach you just a minute. I will be teaching you what do I mean by variable cost, what do I mean by fixed cost, semi-variable cost, stepped fixed cost, everything. We will be covering everything today. Okay. So I will be taking everything from scratch. I will assume zero prior knowledge, but you have to cooperate with me. Okay. And this will not be a one-side communication. I expect the sessions to be interactive. Okay. You have to keep my videos on. You have to interact as much as possible because I believe that the more you interact, the more you learn. Okay. More you interact, the more you learn. So this is what I believe in. Okay. So I want you guys to practice the same. Now coming to the paper pattern of performance management. Okay. Now, you guys must have received exemptions for these 5, right? BT, MA, FA, law and taxation, UK tax, correct? You must have received these 5 exemptions. Now, if you pay attention, I have highlighted certain cells with the same format. And this is not without a reason. The reason is all these papers are interlinked. MA forms a base for PM, which further forms a base for APM. So MA is your management accounting, which we have taken exemption for. PM is performance management and APM is advanced performance management. Okay. Now there is a misconception among the ACCA students that PM and APM are quite tough as a paper. Okay. They always say that we struggle. I have seen some student, one of my, I won't say colleague, batchmate. Okay. He was not consistent. He was still struggling. I cleared all my P level papers and he was still in PM only. I'm not scaring you guys. I'm just telling you what used to happen. He did not practice everything. Right? He did not put more time to practice. He cleared PM after such a struggle. Why? Lack of practice. That's it. Okay. I'm not scaring you guys. So please do not take it other way around that sir is telling PM is so difficult that one student took 4 to 5. No. I'm just telling you where did he lack. I'm just telling you where did he lack. That's it. It was a lack of practice from his side. Okay. So guys, talking about the PM paper pattern, the entire paper is divided into three sections. Section A, B, and Section C. Okay. Now in Section A, we will be having 15 MCQs of 2 marks each. That is 30 marks. And I hope you all understand what do I mean by MCQs, a multiple choice question, where we will be having a question and below that we will be having 4 options. We have to select any one out of the 4 or any 2 out of the 4 depending on the type of question. Okay. They will clearly mention how many options you have to select, which 2 of the following, which one of the following. They will be clear there. Okay. We don't have to make any assumptions. There will be certain questions where they will be expecting you to punch in the numbers. Now, what do I mean by punch in the numbers? Let us say they will ask you to find out the overheads absorbed per unit of product X. Okay. Now, let us say my calculation is 125. So I will simply write 125. Okay. Or it turns out to 125.65. So I will write 125.65, where you will have to punch in the numbers. Now, section B, I have 3 multitask questions of 10 marks each. So in the study hub, we saw revision cases. Okay. So I'll show you. The practice questions that we have over here, the revision questions are my section A questions. And the revision cases are my section B question. I'll just show you how a section B question looks like. Now see, this is a case study that will be given to you. Okay. And based on this case study, you will be having 5 such MCQs. Okay. You will be having all the information here. You will be picking up the relevant information for your particular question. And then you will be having your answer. Okay. Now I'll go to the second question. So you get an idea. Just a minute. Why did this happen? Now I go to the next question. Question number 2. See, the case study remains the same. A new question gets added here. Then question number 3. Same case study, another next question. Okay, so there will be 3 case studies. Each case study will have 5 further sub questions to be performed. Each of these questions will be for 2 marks. So 2 5s are 10 and 3 such questions. So 10 3s are 30. Okay, everyone understood? So you will be having section A and section B questions. Guys, 60% of your paper is objective and your passing marks is just 50. So our goal will be to score somewhere around 45 to 50 in section A and B together. And which is why I am telling you guys to practice more and more and more and more questions. Okay, the questions that I have told you, the classwork questions plus the ACCA Study Hub quiz questions. Now, section C, what we have is a constructed response. Now, in constructed response, we have multiple types of questions. It can come from any particular chapter, not fixed in PM. In FR, we have set topics that, okay, only these chapters will come. But in PM, we cannot say anything. You can expect a question from pricing, budgeting, performance measurement. Okay. There are multiple topics: budgeting, standard costing and variance analysis, transfer pricing. You can expect questions from anywhere. Okay. So you will be having two questions and each question will be for 20 marks. So 22s are 40. Okay. So this is all about the paper pattern. So do we have any negative marking? The answer is no. Now, what do I mean by negative marking? Means you are being penalized for selecting the incorrect choices, which is not there here in ACCA. Okay. And you have a total of 180 minutes for 100-mark paper. So I assume I give a time allocation of 1.8 minute per mark. Okay. So for every 2-mark question, you cannot give more than 3.5 minutes. 3.5 is also to the extreme side. You will also need some time to check your paper. So we will keep a time allocation of 1.5 minute for 1 mark. That is, for every 2-mark question, we won't be giving more than 3 minutes. Because you will also need some time to check your paper, right? And this is something that we will be working from day one only. Because what happens right now, students, they understand the concepts, they know all the questions, everything. But where do they struggle is during mocks. So we were not able to manage time. See, we will be doing everything together only. Just don't focus on concepts and questions right now. Focus on time also. Okay, time means the time management. So we will have to work on our speed. Okay. I want calculators with you guys. If not from today, then surely from the next lecture onwards. The same calculator that you will be carrying to your examination center. Okay. Now, while chatting, we use the mobile phones with must speed, right? We are comfortable with the keys. Why? Because it's the same mobile phone that you are using day in and day out. So what I believe is that during your exam, the same calculator you use in class, you are comfortable. You don't have to spend time looking on, searching out for the keys. Where is the plus key and so on. Now, these things might feel somewhat silly, but helps a lot during your exam day, which you guys will be thankful for. Okay. Okay. So this is all about the PM subject, guys. Okay. The paper pattern, what will be expected in class, the rules and regulations, and so on. Everyone? Anyone, any questions regarding the paper pattern and so on? Any questions so far? Okay, so your passing marks will be 50. You will have to score 50 to clear your paper. And my goal is you guys achieving 45 to 50 marks in section A and B alone. So whatever you score in section C is your bonus, guys. Okay. I will make all the concepts and logics easy for you. What I will expect from your side is your commitments towards the consistency. That's it. I just wanted nothing else. Okay. So let us start with the basics today. Okay. Let us start with the basics today. Now, cost. Anyone, what do we mean by cost? Okay, before that, just a minute, I have received two questions. So paper is taken on Excel, so we will be practicing questions on Excel only. Yes, we will be practicing questions on Excel only. Okay. I will also show you the CBE platform in some time. Just give me some time. I will show you how the paper platform or how the CBE platform or the exam platform exactly looks like. Srishti, section C will be mix of theory and practical. You can expect both theory as well as the practical, but the theory will not be what we have studied in our school days. What is management? Okay, describe, state features, state characteristics, advantages and disadvantages. No, it will be practical theory. Now, what do I mean by practical theory is you will be expected to apply your business acumen, your business knowledge, quite logical. So once we do these questions, you will get an idea of what type of questions do we have in section C. Okay. Sir, how will we be doing the calculations? Will it be Excel or Google Sheet? So in the class, I will be doing it on Excel. But for your self-practice, I will expect you guys to take a pen, paper, and calculator. Do not do it like pen and paper. Why? Just to note down certain things. Okay. So this is how you will be doing it. Harshit, I have already dropped my number. You can scroll up to the chat box. I have dropped it at 13 hours and 39 minutes. Okay, it's not visible to you. I guess you must have joined late. Okay. Now, the question, what do I mean by cost? Anyone? In general terms, in layman language, what do I mean by cost? Guys,
Expenses
see,
which we incurred.
sorry,
Amount spent to buy something.
amount spent to buy something perfect. Yes, Kanika, you were saying something?
Yeah, expenses which we need to incur to get the product.
Perfect. Now see what happens in costing. What is the idea behind costing? Let us try to understand first. Okay. Now let us say I want to manufacture this mobile phone. I want to manufacture and sell this mobile phone. I have to arrive at a selling price, right? Can I arrive it on an ad hoc basis? I cannot. I will first have to find out what is the cost. How much do I incur to produce one mobile phone? So this is exactly something that we do in cost and management accounting. We find out that how much does it cost us to make one mobile phone. Once we get to know the cost, we add our profit margin and then we arrive at the selling price. Okay. So for that, I need to understand what is cost, the classification of cost and so on, the behavior of cost and so on. So cost is anything that we pay to procure something, to procure either the goods or the services. Now let us say if I want to manufacture a water bottle which is made of copper, what are the different costs that I will be incurring? Give me the examples one by one. What are the different costs that I will incur to manufacture a water bottle?
Cost.
Sir, selling cost.
Selling cost, see, selling cost is some completely different, right? Do I incur selling cost to make a water bottle or to sell the water bottle?
Sir, to sell the water bottle.
My question is, what cost will I incur to manufacture or
Labor.
to make a water bottle? This
Raw
was my
labor.
question.
We need to look the cost of copper first.
Perfect. Cost of copper. Can I say cost of copper means my raw material costs?
Yes,
Sir,
sir. The
packaging cost.
labor.
Labor. Perfect. So I have direct material, I have direct labor. Then next,
Packaging
Overheads.
cost.
direct expenses or the overheads. Perfect. Are these three the only cost or I will have to incur some more cost?
Machinery also.
Machinery cost which
Machinery
we
costs, perfect. So can I say
Packaging
factory
cost.
overheads? Factory overheads. That is all the costs that I incur inside the factory. Factory overheads. Okay. Now I add up all these costs. What I get is cost of production. What I get is a cost of production. Now I use this cost of production to determine my selling price. Okay. I assume no inventory level. So cost of production, I then decide use this price to arrive at my selling price. Everyone understood by also adding certain margin. Okay, so let me present my screen before you guys. Now cost, it means an amount that is to be paid or spent to buy something. Now in management accounting, costs can be classified in four ways. Firstly, on the basis of element. Now, on the basis of element, you guys gave me the answer, right? You already gave me the answer, material, labor, and overheads. So different categories based on the elements they represent. First one is materials. So materials, we have raw materials, components, etc. Labor, that is the wages that are paid to the laborers, and expenses, that is factory rent, depreciation, etc. Now, which depreciation I'm talking about here is the depreciation on the factory assets, not on the office assets. Please try to understand that we have assets at both office as well as the factory. So here, if I'm talking about depreciation, then obviously it is on factory expenses, factory assets only. Everyone understood? So on the basis of element, we have direct material, direct labor, and expenses. Then on the basis of nature, I have two. Now what I see over here is this directly related to the production or it is not directly related to the production? If it is directly related to the production, I call it as direct costs, which is also known as my prime cost. Okay. So the sum total of direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses will be my prime cost. Now I'll give you an example of direct and indirect cost. Okay. The mobile phone, all the material that will be required, right, is my direct cost. Now let us say this cover, the phone case, is it actually required to manufacture your mobile?
No,
Is the
sir.
phone case actually required to manufacture your mobile? The answer is no. This is an add-on that you are giving. So the material actually required for manufacturing a mobile phone will be my direct cost. However, the phone case or the extra additional packing that I am giving will be indirect cost. Will be indirect cost. I'll give you another example. Now here I am conducting lectures. So what does VGLD do? They collect fees from the students. They hire a faculty who will teach to the students, right? They hire a faculty who teach students. Now what happens at VGLD is I charge VGLD on hourly basis. So X number of hours taught multiplied by X rate, I get my payment. Now please do not ask me, sir, what is the per hour amount that you get? Or else you guys will be, Okay, now that's fine. Now, the payment that VGLD makes me, tell me, will VGLD classify this payment as a direct cost or an indirect cost? Think and tell me logically. The lectures that I'm providing over here.
The direct cost.
Direct cost.
Direct cost.
Now, VGLD also has what I say is a support team, right? Like we have Sandeep sir, we have Arpit sir, and so on, right? So what happens in such a case? See, they do not directly provide the lectures, but they facilitate the provision of lectures. Because they are there, these lectures are conducted smoothly, right? You have any queries, you reach out to them and so on. So any payment that will be made to the support team, tell me, will it be classified as a direct labor or an indirect labor?
Indirect.
Indirect labor. Okay. So we apply the same logic. Okay. We have direct cost and we have indirect costs. Okay. So two categories on the basis of nature, two categories on the basis of how they are related to production. Direct costs, these are directly related to the production, that is the prime cost. Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses. Now, indirect costs. Now, indirectly related to production, these are indirect materials, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. Okay. Then, third I have is by function. Now, by function, I have production costs and the non-production costs. So again, the same logic. Any costs that are incurred inside the factory will be my production costs. Okay. and any costs which are incurred outside the factory. Now, can I say VGLD team must be having its own office in Delhi? Now, to run that office, they must be incurring expenses. So any administrative expenses, that is your office expenses, and all your selling costs, that is selling and distribution expenses. Some of you had given me an example, sir, selling costs. So this is where your selling cost get classified in your non-production costs. Okay. So classified on the basis of their function, production costs are incurred directly in products manufacturing process inside the factory, included in the valuation of factory inventory, not factory, sorry. So we have direct materials, direct labor, direct expenses, and production overheads. I include both the variable and fixed. Now, what do I mean by variable and fixed? We will come to that later on over here. So for now, just understand what do I mean by production cost? Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, and the production overheads. Production overheads of both the types, variable and the fixed. Everyone understood this? Everyone? Srishti says, sir, but it won't be possible to conduct classes without the support team. So shouldn't it be considered a direct cost? No, Srishti. See, they help me. They facilitate the conducting the classes, right? Are they directly, what you have to see is, are they directly involved or directly related with the conducting the lectures?
Hi, sir. Is it okay if I ask?
Yes, please ask me.
Yeah, so whenever so this is in relation to services, right? But when we talk about like a good, like maybe like, so if we consider a non-current asset, uh, we
Hmm.
we consider even the installation cost, like the
Correct.
cost to bring it into the working condition, we
Mm-hmm.
we capitalize it. Like
Correct.
we consider it as the main cost. So,
Mm-hmm.
the provision of classes won't be possible if there is no support team. So it's a necessity. Like the business
No,
can't function
that's
without
not the
it.
case. That's not the case. See, don't go by that particular logic that we won't be able to conduct the lectures. The logic here is, are they directly involved in providing the lectures? Are they teaching you? Or they are just giving you support services?
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're not teaching.
That's
Right.
what. Correct. So they are not, this is not directly related to the production, right? Now, here also I am producing a service.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And guys, next we have his non-production costs. That is your office and administrative expenses, your selling and distribution expenses, and your finance costs. Okay, we have these three costs. Everyone understood? Everyone understood this? Okay. Then last, on the basis of behavior. On the basis of behavior, okay? We have on the basis of the behavior of cost in relation to the changes in the level of activity. We have variable costs, fixed cost, stepped fixed costs, and semi-variable costs. Okay, and the semi-variable costs. Now, what do I mean by variable costs? Please try to understand. How many of you have received the hard copy of the PM subject textbook? Now, let us think from the costing standpoint. How many students are we here? 29. Okay, we are 29 students here. So let us say one book costs 500 rupees. One book costs 500 rupees. How much will it cost for two books?
1,000.
1,000.
1,000. How much will it cost for three?
1,500.
1,500.
How much will it cost for four?
2,000.
2,000.
So can I say, as the number of students are increasing from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, don't you think my cost is also increasing?
Yes.
Yes.
That is, pay attention, my total cost is increasing. I'm not talking about per unit. My per unit still remains the same, which is 500. What is increasing is my total variable cost. So can we conclude on variable cost that my per unit cost remains the same, but the total cost keeps on changing in relation to the activity level. So as the level of activity increases, my variable cost will also keep on increasing. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is what do I mean by variable costs. This is what do I mean by variable cost. So at zero activity level, can I say my variable cost will still be zero? At zero activity level, my variable cost will be zero. At activity level of 1, my variable cost will be 500 and it will then keep on increasing. Okay, so let us discuss variable cost. Now this, you will recollect something like economics. Okay, we have certain diagrams. Variable costs, these are the costs that increase or decrease depending on the activity level. Now, for example, I want to make 10 pizzas. The cost of ingredient for one pizza is $5. So to make 10 pizzas, the cost of ingredients will be 10 pizzas multiplied by $5 per pizza, which is equal to 50. So what I have done here is I have written the number of pizzas and I have written cost per pizza, which is 5. No matter what, how many pizza that I produce, I will be incurring 5 per unit. I will be incurring 5 per unit. So what is my total variable cost for one pizza? 5. Total variable cost for two pizzas, 10. For 3, it will be 15. Now I copy paste this. So if you pay attention, for the variable cost, I have an upward sloping line. So as my activity level increases, okay, as my activity level on the x-axis increases, as we go from left to right, my cost also keeps on increasing. Understood? And it always starts with 0, starts from 0, okay? Because obviously at 0 activity level, just a minute. Okay, so if you see, if my activity level is 0, my cost is also 0. Everyone understood this. Now next that we have is a fixed cost. Now I am running a cloud kitchen. Now what do I mean by cloud kitchen is, I have taken a small space on rent where I don't have a restaurant. It is the place from where I make my pizzas. So it's a cloud restaurant that customers, they order pizzas online and I get them delivered. Now here I will be incurring my kitchen rent, and obviously kitchen rent will be my production overheads, my production expenses, right? It will be considered in the cost of my pizza also. Now rent, generally, I have never seen any landlord telling me, Bhavik, if you make and sell 0 pizzas, I won't be taking any rent from you. Do we find any such landlord? No. So the cost will still be there. Even if you make and sell 0 pizzas, you will still have to pay rent. So what happens over here is the total cost remains the same regardless of the level of activity. You make and sell 1 lakh pizzas, you make and sell 5 pizzas, you make and sell 0 pizzas, the rent amount will remain the same. So fixed cost, can I say it is the cost which remains the same irrespective of the level of activity or irrespective of the activity level. But think it other way around. The total cost remains the same. The total cost remains the same. But what will happen per pizza? See, think logically. Think logically. You are running your own business. You want to find out the cost of your pizza. Don't you think you will be apportioning some part of rent cost to your pizza, your cost per pizza? Let us say your per annum rent is 24,000, and in a year you are expecting to make and sell 12,000 pizzas. So what is the rent cost per pizza?
2
2
rupees.
rupees.
2. Now, when you arrive at the cost price of pizza, don't you think you will also include this rupees $2? Don't you
Yes,
think you
sir.
will? Just a minute. Guys, just a minute. I'm just connecting the charger. Allow me a minute. So while arriving at the cost of pizza, don't you think you will be adding this $2 also, or rupees 2 also towards rent?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Ruchita is saying average inventory will be used to calculate per unit price of fixed cost. Let us not get into that. I'm just teaching you the concept of absorption for now. Okay. What we are doing is learning the absorption part, Ruchita. Okay. I'm not considering the inventory level. Okay. Because you are producing, you are doing some activity, right? And that activity will help you absorb the cost or add up the cost. So what happens? Think and tell me logically, fixed cost, total remains the same. Total remains the same. As and when your activity level increases, what will happen to your per unit cost? Will it increase or will it decrease?
Decrease.
It will keep on decreasing. Okay? The per unit cost will keep on decreasing. The total will remain the same. So let us understand fixed cost. A cost is to be deemed to be fixed when it is incurred regardless of the level of activity. For example, I run a pizza shop. I pay fixed annual rent of $24,000. Now, irrespective of the number of pizzas I make, I will have to pay the rent of 24,000 per annum. So let us say if I have made 4,000 pizzas, my total rent is 24,000. What will be my rent per pizza? 24,000 divided by 4,000. If I make 8,000 pizzas during the year, what will be the rent per pizza? 3. So if I copy and paste this formula, now pay attention and tell me, has my rent per pizza increased or decreased in proportion to the increase in activity level?
Sir, it is
Decreased. Decreased.
It has decreased. But can I say my total rent is still the same?
Yes, sir.
My total
Yes,
rent
sir.
is still the same. Now, let us understand two graphs over here. Firstly, the total fixed cost. No matter your activity level, your cost will remain the same throughout. Hence, it is parallel to x-axis. It is parallel to the x-axis. Okay. No matter your cost, no matter your activity level, your total fixed cost will remain the same. Even if the activity level is 0, you will still incur a cost of 24,000. Now let us pay attention to the fixed cost per unit. See, there is a steep fall. There is a steep fall and then it plateaus. So we have a downward sloping curve, right? For fixed cost per unit. As and when your activity level is increased from left to right, your fixed cost per unit has reduced. Okay, so this is about fixed cost. Any questions so far? Okay, so I have summarized here that total cost is unaffected by the level of activity. However, the cost per unit will decrease as the activity level increases. As the activity level increases. Okay. Perfect. Any questions, guys? Okay. Then what next I have is a stepped fixed cost. Stepped fixed cost. Anyone ever heard of the word stepped fixed cost? Anyone ever heard of this? Okay. Now let us say I am running a pizza restaurant. Now I want the quality to be the best. So what happens is for every chef, for every certain number of chef, or every certain number of pizzas, I have a supervisor. So I tell them that, okay, one supervisor can supervise up to 5,000 pizzas. The moment this becomes 5,001, I have to hire another supervisor. Okay. So if we are making 8,000 pizzas, how many supervisor will I need? Don't tell me 1.6.
2, sir.
2. If I am making 9,000 pizzas, how many supervisor will I need?
2, sir.
2. If I'm making 12,000 pizzas, how many?
3.
3.
3. And the salary that I pay to the supervisor, will it be fixed or it will be on the basis of number of pizzas?
It will be fixed.
Fixed.
Generally, it will be fixed only. So if you pay attention, what is happening to my fixed cost over here? From number of pizzas of 0 to 5,000, I have a same fixed cost. The moment the number of pizzas crosses 5,000, it increases, but this increase remains the same till 10,000 pizzas. Now, if again this crosses the boundary of 10,000, my fixed cost increases further and it remains the same throughout 15,000. So can I say these fixed costs remain the same up to a certain level of activity? And once that activity level is crossed, your fixed cost will increase. So let us understand this with the help of a diagram. Now such costs are similar but up to a certain level of activity. After the upper limit is reached, the fixed costs suffer a step up. Now for every 5,000 pizza made, a supervisor is required whose annual salary is $8,000. Guys, switch your cameras on, everyone. So for every pizza over and above the number 5,000, I will require one more supervisor. So for example, if I make 5,000 pizzas, I will need one supervisor. If I make 10,000 pizzas, I will need two supervisors and so on. So what I have done is I have written number of pizzas at different activity level. So tell me, for given our particular scenario, for 2,500 pizzas, how many supervisor will I require?
1.
1. For 5,000 pizzas, I will require
1.
1.
1. For 7,500,
2.
2.
2.
10,000,
2.
2.
2.
then
3.
3,
3.
3.
3.
again 3.
4.
Yes.
4.
5.
5. 5.
Now my salary per supervisor is 8,000. So it will be 8,000 multiplied by the number of supervisors required. Now let us pay attention to the diagram. See, it remains the same till a particular level of activity, and then it suffers a step up. It remains same till a particular level of activity, and then again it suffers a step up. It remains same and then step up. Again same and then step up. If you pay attention, this actually looks like a staircase. Okay, this actually looks like a staircase. The diagram, the graph over here looks like a staircase. Everyone understood stepped fixed costs?
Yes, sir.
And last one is semi-variable. What do we mean by semi-variable, guys? Anyone? Have you ever heard of semi-variable?
Sir, certain amount is fixed and certain amount is variable, like a 50-50 or 40-60 or maybe.
Perfect. The ratio, I cannot say, I cannot talk about the ratio. Now I will share my example with you guys. So when I was in audit, okay, before starting my teaching career, when I was in audit, there was one restaurant, I won't take the name, which was inside a shopping mall. And these restaurants, they have the unlimited thali system where you have to pay 700 or 750, something like that. And then you can have, you can eat all that you want, unlimited system. A Gujarati thali system kind of. So while audit, I came across their rent agreement. What clause that I saw in their rent agreement was, see, these mall owners, okay, so what happens is there are mall owners, they own that particular mall and then give that particular some shops or places to on rent to someone else. No, it was not Barbecue Nation's Rishti. Okay. So I happened to saw the rent agreement. Now what happens in their case is they do not keep the entire rent as fixed because the mall owners, they know themselves that they do not have business for all the 7 days. They have businesses on Saturdays and Sundays only. Monday to Friday, they all have to sit idle or kind of idle. I won't say completely idle. So there they have the rent agreement decided as 50,000 per month fixed plus 7% of the sales amount. So let us say if in a particular month the sales is zero, then you just have to pay 50,000 rent. If you have made a sale of 1 lakh, then in that case, the fixed amount 50,000 you have to pay plus 7% of 1 lakh, that is 7,000. So in that
7,000.
case, the rent amount will be 57,000. So this is what do I mean by semi-variable cost. Certain portion is fixed and certain varies in relation to the activity level. Another example that I can give you is Agamjot. I'll come to that point. Now, electricity bill. Now, no matter, even if your usage is zero, you will still get some minimum bill. Just have a look. They will charge some fees from you. Even if the meter the consumption is zero, they will still send you a bill amount of 200 to 300, something like that. Talking about postpaid bill, mobile phone, postpaid bill. Again, even if the usage is zero, you will still have to pay some minimum charges. Okay. Now, Agam Jyot is asking me a question, sir. How will the owner get to know about the actual sales? They do not ask for the entire, what I say is financial statements of the tenant. What they will ask for is the certificate given by a chartered accountant, and it has to be signed by a chartered accountant that, okay, we have made a sales of so and so amount for this particular month. And obviously, no CA would like to play with his or her credentials. No one will be signing the fake certificate. Understood? Everyone? So yes, at the time of making the payment, they have to issue this certificate to the owner. And then basis that they will be calculating the percentage. Okay, so semi-variable cost in a way has a characteristic of both fixed as well as the variable. Now, semi-variable costs contain both fixed and variable elements and are therefore partly affected by change in activity. The landlord of my pizza shop visited me and asked me for a revised rent agreement. Now, as per the new agreement, rent will be paid as follows. Now, he tells me that minimum rent per month will be 1500. That now, what do I mean by minimum rent? That even if the activity level is 0, I still have to pay him 1500. Okay. And variable component is $0.25 per pizza sold. Everyone understood the payment structure? Fixed component is 1500 per month. So multiplied by 12 will give me fixed component throughout the year per annum, fixed component. And variable component, he is saying that 0.25 per pizza sold. So what is my total rent? Fixed component plus the variable component. Fixed component plus the variable component. Now, if you happen to check the semi-variable curve, it never starts from 0. Because even at an activity level of 0, you are still paying 18,000. Even at an activity level of 0, you are still paying 18,000. So it starts from 18,000 and then increases. My total semi-variable cost increases because of the increase in the activity level. Everyone understood? So gray is the total rent. The gray line over here is the total rent. And orange is my fixed component. Orange is my fixed component. Everyone got this? Everyone understood this? Perfect.
So,
Yes,
sir,
Ami?
you have charged whole year rent here, right?
Sorry? Yes, this is per annum.
Yes. Sir, my question is that if, as you said, that when there is a 0, I have to pay per annum 18,000, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But why we charge from day one?
No, this is not day one, Ami. I have
Yeah.
considered different possible scenarios.
Okay.
That
Okay.
if you sell 0 pizzas, then what is the total rent that you will be paying? 18,000.
Yes.
If you sell 2,500 pizzas throughout the year, what is the total rent that you will be paying? 18,625. Understood?
Okay, sir. Yes.
See, this is not my throughout the year numbers. These are different possibilities, different
Okay.
activity level. Okay?
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah. Got it, sir.
No problem. Okay, so this is all about cost and its classification. And guys, something that we need to remember throughout our PM subject: variable cost, fixed cost, stepped up cost, and semi-variable cost. You need to understand variable cost per unit remains the same, total keeps on changing. Fixed cost, total remains the same, per unit keeps on decreasing with the increase in the activity level. Stepped fixed costs, stepped fixed cost, it remains same up to a certain level of activity, and once that activity level is crossed, my fixed cost again increases. And semi-variable cost, it is the combination of both the fixed as well as the variable. Everyone understood this? Okay, we have to keep this in mind throughout our PM syllabus. Just like we have statement of P&L in financial accounts, okay, in financial accounting and financial reporting, we have cost card in management or cost accounting, what I can say. Now, what is cost accounting? Cost accounting is what is a cost card? It tells me the total cost of the product. cost accounting tells me the total cost of the product. How much have you incurred to produce a particular product? Okay, what is the total cost that you have incurred to produce and sell a particular product? Okay. Now tell me one thing. We discussed this example that I want to manufacture water bottles. So what are the things that I will require? Firstly, the raw material, which is the direct material. Now these will not get converted into finished product on its own. I will have to hire labor. These labor will work and convert it into a finished product. I will have to incur direct expenses. Yes, machines, workers, and so on. So, direct material plus direct labor plus direct expenses, it helps me with prime cost. Now, to this prime cost, I add my production overheads. Now, what do I mean by production overheads is the factory overheads. Okay. And factory or production overheads, I have two, variable and fixed. So I first add variable production overheads. So I get total variable production cost. Total variable production cost. Next, I add my fixed production overheads. Now guys, we learned fixed. The total remains the same. So what I do is, see, I want to find out the cost per unit, right? Now, in our example that we discussed, the total rent was 24,000. Right? The total rent was 24,000. Now, I cannot add this 24,000 directly over here, right? I want to find out the cost towards one unit. So let us say I am expecting to make 12,000 units per annum. So what I will say, my absorbed overheads is 24,000
$2.
divided by 12,000, which is 2. So this is to my OAR. Now, what do I mean by OAR is overhead absorption rate. Now, what do I mean by overhead absorption rate? It tells me for every one pizza that you are producing, add $2 cost. Add $2 cost towards the pizza. So for one pizza, overheads absorbed will be 2. For 10 pizzas, overheads absorbed will be 20. For 100 pizzas made and sold, overheads absorbed will be
200.
200 and so on. So what is the formula that I have used? That OAR is equal to budgeted overheads. Budgeted overheads is 24,000 divided by the budgeted activity level, which is 12,000. Everyone understood this? And one more thing, guys, I forgot to tell you. You guys will have to maintain a separate notebook, a small 100 pages notebook. Do you understand why? Why, Ruchita?
So we can take notes of some important points that you're mentioning in the class or for calculations.
No, for the formulas.
Okay, right.
I want all of you guys to write all the formulas at one place. See, I have written the formulas in my Excel notes. The reason during exam, it will become quite difficult for you to refer all the Excel sheets and then remember the formulas. So what I suggest is, as in when you are sitting for a PM lecture, keep a separate small 100 pages notebook with you handy. So as in when I am writing a particular formula, you are incorporating that formula in your notebook and write the formula at least once. I have seen students, they open the Excel or a Word doc, they take screenshot of the screen during the lecture and then they paste it there. Guys, don't do it. Write the formula at least once, because you write it once, you remember it. You write it once, you remember it, okay? So throughout the subject, we have many formulas. See, you will be getting what I say is your formula sheet in exam. They will be giving you, but why to rely on it? What if they do not give you certain formulas? And why do you want to waste your time switching from the answer response area to the formula sheet, close the formula sheet, again come to answer response area, right? So maintain a separate notebook or Excel sheet, but I want you guys to write all the formulas once. Write all the formulas once. So for now, please note down this formula. OAR, just don't write OAR, also write it full form. So you need to know that after 1 month, if you revisit this particular formula, you know what do we mean by OAR. OAR is overhead absorption rate. Just let me know once you are done writing. Sai, I will come to your doubt. Just give me a minute, Sai. A question, sir, if it does not reach budgeted level, then what will happen? The absorption rate may bring some loss and not able to cover all the fixed cost. Now, see, if your absorption does not reach your budgeted level, then there is a concept known as under absorption or over absorption of overheads. Okay. So in case of under absorption, I will add the balancing number to my cost. If in case of over absorption, I subtract it from my cost. Something which is not tested at your PM level. The reason ACCA assumes that we have already tested this at MA level. So let us not ask it again. Okay,
Okay,
everyone? Perfect. So this is my fixed production cost. I add fixed production overheads which are absorbed one. I get total production cost. I get total production cost. Now to this, I add my non-production overheads, administrative, selling, and distribution. Okay. I get my total cost. Guys, one more important point to be noted that till fixed production overheads, we divide the total cost by the total units produced. Okay. But non-production overheads is always divided per unit sold because we believe that you have incurred administrative and selling and distribution overheads to sell the products. Okay. So administrative cost per unit sold, selling cost per unit sold, and distribution cost per unit sold. You incur these costs to sell the goods and not to produce the goods. Hence, we take number of units sold as a base. Everyone understood? Govin, advertising cost will form part in your selling and distribution costs. Okay? It will form
Sir,
a part
please
of your
repeat.
selling and distribution costs.
Sir, please repeat.
So his question was, what treatment do we do to advertising cost? So I told advertising cost will form a part of your selling and distribution.
Okay, sir.
Guys, just give this a read. We have already discussed this. Elements of a cost card. Just give it a read. We have discussed it. Giving you 2 minutes, just read it out. Is Tejovati there in the class? Let me know once we are done, and then we take a quick 15-minute break, guys. Okay?
Sir, can you scroll it up?
Sure, just allow me a minute. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
A last small concept before we take a break. Guys, we have two ways for keeping recording costs in our cost accounting. Absorption costing and marginal costing. Now, absorption costing, what we do is we absorb the fixed overheads to the cost of the product. The same thing that we have done over here. So what I do is budgeted overheads divided by the budgeted level of activity. I get some number, I add it here, and I get the total production cost. Everyone understood? So what we have prepared this cost card using the principles of absorption costing system. Now talking about marginal costing. Guys, what do you understand by the word marginal? Anyone?
The amount required for producing an additional unit.
Additional unit, perfect. Additional cost. So marginal costing, the approach tells me how much does it cost me to produce one more unit. Marginal cost tells me how much does it cost me to produce one more unit. Let us say I have already prepared 99 units. Now I want to make the 100th unit. Now in this case, will I incur any additional fixed cost?
No, sir.
No, because these are already incurred. Fixed costs are already incurred. Now, no matter I make 0 units or I make 1 lakh units, the fixed cost will remain the same. So under marginal costing, what we do to the fixed cost is we do not absorb it into the cost of the product. No. What we do is we treat the fixed cost as a period cost. Now, what do I mean by period cost is it is directly charged to P&L. And we don't add it to the cost of the product. Whatever is the fixed cost that we incur, we directly charge it to P&L during the year only. But in absorption costing, fixed overheads, we add it to the cost of inventory. We add it to the cost of inventory. So under absorption costing, inventory is always valued at total production cost. And marginal costing, inventory is always valued at total variable cost of production. So if I say what is the value of inventory as per marginal costing, then this is your answer. Understood? If I say what is the total value of inventory as per absorption costing, then this is going to be your answer. Everyone got this?
Yes, sir.
So under absorption costing, inventory is valued at total production cost. However, in case of marginal costing, inventory is always valued at total variable cost of production. Okay. It's almost 3 p.m. We resume at 3:15. Okay.
Sir, can we have at the end of class 5 minutes for common questions, because it is the first class for me and nobody told me today is the first class. So from
Sure.
Sangeet, yeah, thank you.
We can. Okay. Guys, we resume at 3:15 p.m. Everyone.
You changed your home.
Yes. This month only. Actually, last week. So I relocated to altogether to another city. So I'm in Gujarat right now. In Vadodara.
I just felt the difference.
Yes. So I came here on 26th of August. Okay. Last part of the basics, guys, and then we switch to our actual PM syllabus. Okay, we come to our actual PM syllabus. This is just the basics. We have cost objects, cost units, and cost centers. Okay. Now, what is a cost object? It is any activity for which a separate measurement of cost is undertaken. For example, the cost of a product or service or a particular department. Now for VGLD, the cost object will be cost per student. Okay. So for every different businesses have different cost objects. Correct? Cost unit. A cost unit is a unit of a product or service in relation to which costs may be ascertained. Now, the cost unit should be appropriate to the type of business. My bad, I took it other way around. Now, the cost of service, product or service, cost per student is my cost unit, not my cost object. My bad, guys. Okay. So for car manufacturer, the cost unit will be cost per car. For pizza restaurant, it will be cost per pizza. For builder, it will be cost per square foot. And for educational institute, it will be cost per student. Okay. And cost center, it is any location, function, activity, or specific equipment for which the costs can be identified, such as sales area, stores, vehicle machine, etc. Now, let us take an example. For pizza restaurant, the cost object will be pizza, the product or the service. Cost unit will be cost per pizza. And cost center is my Mahavir Nagar. That is a location in Mumbai. The street food locality in Mumbai, Mahavir Nagar. I'm not sure how many of you are from Mumbai. For Govind, for VGLD classes are cost object. Yes, correct. The lectures are cost object. Okay, the lectures that are being conducted is a cost object. Okay, so cost object, cost units, and the cost centers. Now this just helps us form a base for our PM subject. Okay, this will not be tested directly in your exam. Cost unit will be the cost per student. Okay, Govind? Cost per student. So for example, Bhavik sir is paid X sum of money and there are 25 students in PM. Just for example. So cost per student will be amount paid to Bhavik sir divided by 25. So this is cost per student. Now this is just the basic that we have covered. It will not be tested directly in our exam. But yes, we need to know this before we start with our PM syllabus, performance management syllabus. How many of you are from Mumbai? Anyone from Mumbai here? Okay, only one. Rest all I assume are all from the north side. Like not actually the north. I not from like Gujarat,
No,
Rajasthan,
sir.
Delhi, all this side. Okay.
I am from South.
Who?
Me, Shilpa.
Okay, Shilpa is from south. Okay. Oh,
I'm
so
from Delhi.
okay, you are from Delhi, ma'am. Okay. Gujarat. Okay. Which part, Priyanshi? Which part of Gujarat? Oh, Ruchita, even you live in Vadodara. That's great. Okay. Rajkot. Okay. Which part of Vadodara, Ruchita?
Sir, I live in Harni near
Learning.
airport.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
quite near from here. I live in
So
Chani.
Chani,
Chani
okay.
Jagatnaka.
Yeah, that's quite nearby.
Yes, that's what.
Right. So let me know if you need anything, any help.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, sir.
Okay, guys, coming to our basics. Okay, not the basics, actually the first chapter of PM. Okay. Now, guys, I will be changing the sequence. The sequence will not be the same. Okay, the one that you find in your VGLD textbook or the study hub will be different to what that I'm following. The theory chapter, I will be covering it towards the end, not right now. Okay, the very first chapter, we will be doing it towards the end. So right now we are starting with the second chapter, which is there in your VGLD textbook or the study hub. Okay, so let us start with it. Now, first is the cost and management accounting. Now, guys, absorption costing system, we have two types. First one is the traditional and second one is the activity based. Now see, please try to understand what do I mean by absorption costing? What do I mean by absorption? The fixed overheads, the concept that we learned that I am making 24,000, I am incurring a fixed cost of 24,000 and in a year, I am making 12,000 pizzas. So what is my cost per pizza? 24,000 divided by 12, which is 2. Now, every one pizza I make, I absorb a cost of 2. Now, this is a traditional costing system, guys. This is less scientific. See, not all the costs are volume related. What I am doing is, in this example, we have only one fixed cost, that is rent. Now, rent, I actually cannot absorb it on the basis of the volume, right? I cannot do it because even if I just take, see, this is on a lump sum basis, on an ad hoc basis that we are absorbing. Okay, so traditional costing system, you do not get a true cost of your product. You will never get a true cost of your product because you are assuming that all the overheads are volume related, which is not actually the case. So what we do in traditional absorption costing system is we use the formula of OAR that we just learnt in before the break, that OAR, that is overhead absorption rate, is budgeted fixed overheads divided by the budgeted level of activity. Okay, so let us assume this over here, that my fixed costs are 15 lakhs My fixed cost for the year is 15 lakhs. And during the year, I am assuming to make and sell 1 lakh pizzas. So my budgeted pizzas are 1 lakh. So what I will say is that my OAR is 15 per pizza. For every one pizza made, I will add 15 of cost towards the product. Okay. Now, to the contrary to this, what we have is activity-based costing. Now, this is a more scientific approach where what we try to do is we create different cost pools. We create cost pools. Now, what do I mean by cost pool is, let us say my total fixed overheads is 36 lakhs. 15 lakhs only. Okay, let us say my total fixed overheads is 15 lakhs. Now, what we try to do over here is break this cost of 15 lakhs into 3 different activities. Let us say I assume that my inspection cost is 5 lakhs. Now, again, my inspection cost is a fixed cost. I am creating different cost pools. My receipt cost is 4 lakhs and my setup cost is 6 lakhs. Now, what do I mean by setup cost? Guys, if I want to make pizza, I will have to preheat the oven. Then only I can bake pizzas in them. Okay. So for every machinery, every manufacturing activity, you have to incur some setup costs. So what we do is we divide the cost here into different cost pools. See, earlier, the total overheads I am directly absorbing on the basis of volume, which is incorrect, in a way incorrect. But activity-based costing, I am dividing it into 3 different activities. Now, this is something, a research and activity that the organizations have to carry out, guys. They will have to see that we have incurred a total of 15 lakhs of overheads created into different cost pools. For every cost pool, we assign a cost driver. Now, what do I mean by cost driver? Guys, logically, it is an activity that drives a cost. It is an activity that drives a cost. Now, let us say I shifted here to a new place. So I must have incurred some relocation costs. Now, relocation cost, I must have incurred the logistics, the truck. I must have hired a truck to shift all my all my goods and from one city to another. So don't you think that was a particular activity? The relocation activity caused me a particular cost. So similarly, in businesses also, we have different activities giving you different costs. Now, inspection costs, obviously, I cannot take this on the number of units. No, number of units does not cause my inspection costs. The number of inspections carried out will give rise to my inspection costs, right? So what I do is I assign this a cost driver, which is my number of inspections. Number of inspections. Now let us say my total inspection cost was 5 lakhs. My total inspection cost was 5 lakhs. Just a minute, Ami. My number of inspections is 1 lakh. So what I will say is that my cost per inspection is 5. My cost per inspection is 5. Now let us say 1 unit requires 1 inspection only. So I will add $5 to one particular product towards the inspection costs. Okay. Similarly, I will find out total number of receipts that were carried out during the year, and also the total number of setups that were carried out during the year. Everyone understood the ideology over here? Total cost is divided into different cost pools. For each of the cost pool, we find out the cost driver. And then what I do is I find out cost per unit of cost driver. Cost per unit of cost driver. Now let us say cost per inspection is 5 and number of units in one inspection is 10. So for every one product that is being inspected, I will say that I am incurring an inspection cost of 0.5. Obviously, guys, inspection will be done in batches, not on a one-by-one basis. Correct? Everyone understood the ideology, what we will be doing here in activity-based costing. So certain advantages of this, it helps us find out the true cost of the product. It believes that not all the overheads or costs are volume related. Correct? Now, it also has some disadvantages, guys. We all are from commerce backgrounds and hence we were able to understand this. What if someone is from engineering or a science background or a doctor background? Would you be able to explain this to them? So explaining the calculations becomes difficult. Second, time consuming process because you have to carry out research. Now here we have just assumed that out of the total overheads of 15 lakhs, 5 lakhs for inspection, 4 lakhs for receipt and 6 lakhs for setup costs. Real life, you will have to carry out research. Finding out cost driver is also a challenge. Now, not every cost have a cost driver. Not all the cost have a cost driver. Main activities, main tasks get affected because of this activity that is carried out. Okay. And lastly, the cost exceeds the benefit. The cost may exceed the benefit obtained from this ABC. Everyone understood this. Anyone, any questions on ABC costing, activity-based costing? And this topic might get tested in your section A or section B. Okay. This topics, activity-based costing, may be tested in your either your section A or your section B. Okay. Now let us practice some questions on ABC. Just a minute. Now these are all my exam standard questions, guys. And guys, if majority of your overheads are volume related, okay, think and tell me, think logically, if majority of my overheads are volume related, then will ABC costing make a difference? Will ABC costing make a difference? Think and tell. If majority of the overheads are volume related. Okay, I guess I have received the answers in the chat box. Sure, Govind. Okay. See, guys, everyone understood traditional costing, traditional absorption costing system. Everyone understood what do we do? All those who asked me, who had a doubt. Now, coming back to ABC costing, what I am doing is I am dividing the total cost into different cost pools. We are identifying the reasons which particular activity caused us a cost, because of which particular activity we incurred a cost. And after identifying this activity, we assign them a cost. Okay, and this is known as cost pools. This is known as cost pool. Okay, and to each of this cost pool, I assign a cost driver, that is the activity which led us to a cost. Okay, which led us to a cost. So obviously for inspection costs, the cost driver will be number of inspections. For receipt cost, it will be the number of receipts, and for setup costs, it will be number of setups. Now what I do is I divide my cost with the cost driver, the number of units of a cost driver. So what I get is cost per unit of cost driver. So for every one inspection that was carried out, it costed me $5. And I get to know that, okay, in one inspection, we are inspecting 10 units. So for 1 unit, what is the inspection cost? 5 divided by 10, which is 0.5. So my inspection cost per unit is 0.5. Everyone understood? Govind, Srishti, everyone got this? Okay. Now, when we practice questions on ABC costing, you will get a more clear idea. Okay. Just a minute. Curtis runs a printing business. He estimates that his printing machine will need to be set up 200 times per month at a monthly total cost of $80,000. Now, item number 2145 has to be printed in batches of 50 copies, where each batch requires the machine to be set up twice. Now, Curtis expects the annual demand for item number 2145 to be 5,000 copies. What amount should be charged to each copy of item 2145 for the setup costs to the nearest dollar? Now, this is a question on ABC. So firstly, what I will do is I find out the cost pool. And what is the cost pool over here? Can I say it is the total monthly setup cost of $80,000? Total setup costs is $80,000. What was the next thing that we were doing? What did we do in the previous activity? Let us apply the logic. I divided it by the number of inspections. I have this 80,000. I divide this by the number of inspection. Here, it will be the number of setups. So what are the number of setups that we have, guys? 200. So what I do is divide it by number of setups. So what is my cost per setup? 80,000 divided by 200, which is 400. Now, guys, what are they asking? Please try to understand. What amount should be charged to each copy of item number 2145 for setup costs? Now, they are saying that the item 2145 has to be printed in batches of 50 copies, where each batch requires the machine to be set up twice. Now tell me, how will you find out cost per copy? See, this is the cost per setup. This is the cost per setup that you have. So what is my cost per copy? Can I say this 400 is for 50 copies? Yes or no? So this will be 400 divided by 50. But each batch requires to be set up how many times? twice. So I multiply it by 2. Everyone understood? See, this 400 is for 50 units. I want to find it out for 1. Understood? So it is 16. It is 16. Tell me if you guys have any doubts or questions. Or I can make it more simpler. What I will say is per setup is 400. Per setup is 400. And for one batch, we require 2 number of setups. So I multiply it by 2. And in one batch, there are 50 units. So I divide it by 50. Understood? I guess this is more easy.
Yes, sir.
So answer is 16. Guys, tell me if you have any doubts or questions. Everyone understood this? I see all the cameras going off one by one. Guys, switch your cameras on, or else you will feel like कौन सा number कहाँ से आ रहा है. I believe नजर हटी दुर्घटना घटी और सावधान हाँ नजर हटी दुर्घटना घटी. That's something like quite kind of tricky, I can say. Okay. Now guys, these are exactly the same type of questions that you will come across in your exam. I am not saying these will get repeated in your exam. What I am trying to say is these are exam standard questions. If you are able to crack this, then I can say that yes, you will be able to crack the exams and questions, crack the questions in exams also. Okay. So whenever you read the question, first read the requirement part. I will tell you the reason behind this. In performance management, they will give you many such information which is irrelevant. Now, if I go back to question number 1, this was irrelevant for me. This information has no relevance in this question. So if you just read first this particular part, you will be confused कि sir 5000 copies का क्या करना है. So this is how you tackle a question. You first understand the requirement part and then read the main question. What is the warehousing cost for the first day of operations for the period? Okay, so they are asking us the warehousing cost. Mido company uses an ABC system. The budgeted cost for warehousing for the next 6 months are 3,56,014, of which 2,15,414 is regarding handling receipts of materials. The balance is for the issue of goods to the production. In the same period, it is expected that there will be 3,700 receipts and 2,500 issues. On the first day of operation for the period, the company processed 14 receipts and 6 issues. Now, can I say they have given us the total cost, 3,56,014, of which we know that how much is pertaining to the receipts of materials. So from total, you subtract 2,15,414, you will get some cost which pertains to the issue of goods to production, the total cost. Can I say you are given the cost driver for both the costs? You have number of receipts 3,700. You have the number of issues 2,500. So you will be able to find out the cost per receipt. You will also be able to find out the cost per issue. See, I am teaching you how to think, how to connect the dots. Once you get this, can I say you are also given the number of receipts and also the number of issues on the first day? So let us say after dividing by 3,700 and 2,500, you get the two answers as 5 and 7. So your final answer will be 5 into 14 plus 7 into 6. Giving you 2 minutes, try it out, and then I will solve it. I want you guys to try it in front of me. So 2,15,414 divided by 3,700 will give you cost per receipt. Option D. Option D is the correct answer. Guys, feel free to ask any questions if you have. Don't carry your doubts back at home with you. Get it resolved in front of me. Be it silly doubt, no one will be judging you. I won't be scolding you guys. So issue of goods, the cost is 2,15,414. I know that the total cost is 3,56,014. So if out of the total cost, this much is issue cost, so what is my handling receipts? The balancing number. Next, what is the cost driver for issue of goods? Tell me, for issue of goods, what is the cost driver? Number of receipts? And handling receipts is the number of issues. Okay. I actually wrote it other way around. 2,15,000 is handling receipts of materials. Right? And this is issue of goods. Units of cost driver, 3,700 receipts. And number of issues, 2,500. So what is my cost per unit of cost driver? 2,15,414 divided by 3,700.
58.22.
58.22 and 56.24. 56.24. Now this is not my answer. What I have to find out is the warehouse cost for the first day of operation. Firstly, receipt of materials and issue of goods. So receipt of materials, it will be 58.22 multiplied by how many receipts are there on the first day? 14. And this one, 56.24 multiplied by how many issues are we having? 6 multiplied by 6. I take the total and answer is option D. Everyone understood this? Shreyashi, that should be because of rounding off. You must have rounded it off. You must have considered 58 and 56, I believe. The reason is, see, if you pay attention, okay, this is exactly 58.
पप्पा ऊपर आओ जो
Okay, this
पप्पा
is exactly.
ओ पप्पा
Okay. Any questions, guys? Anyone? Any doubts? If no, then we can go to the next question. All clear. Perfect. Mukesh, we have right the you are doing. It will be MCQ based only. See, this is actually MCQ based. Now, because this is the very first lecture of PM, and obviously, initially, I will be giving you detailed solution. You don't have to show the detailed solution to anyone. You just have to give the final answer. So if I do the answer in shortcut, if you refer this file after 1 month, we will not know kahan se aaya number. So I'm writing it in detail. In exam, you don't have to do it in such detail, everyone. Okay?
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Question number 3. Guys, now this is where students end up making mistake. The question particularly asks me on product S. And in the question, they have given me information on both product R and product S. What is the budgeted machine setup cost per unit of product S? Okay. RS company has recently introduced an activity-based costing system. It manufactures 2 products, details of which are given below. I have budgeted production per year in units, batch size in units, and I have processing time per unit in minutes. The budgeted annual cost for 2 activities are as follows: machine setup and processing. Okay, machine setup and processing. What is the budgeted machine setup cost per unit of product S? Okay, let us solve this. I am solving it. Pay attention, guys. What is my total machine setup costs?
1,80,000.
They are asking me of machine setup costs only. Okay, so let us go with that only. My total machine setup cost is 180,000. Obviously, I will need to find out the total number of setups because I will then get the cost per setup. And see, setup is not just only done for product S, it is done for product R also. So while finding out the cost per setup, I also need to consider the number of setups done for product R. I hope everyone understood this. So, number of machine setups. It will be equal to 80,000 divided by 100 for product R plus 60,000 divided by 50 for product S. Everyone understood?
Sir,
In
can you
one
please
batch,
repeat?
for product R, in one batch, I am processing 100 units. My annual demand for product R is 80,000. So 80,000 divided by 100, I get to know about the number of setups done for product R. 2,000. If you want, I can write this. 80,000 divided by 100 plus 60,000 divided by 50. So can I say I get cost per machine setup? Which is 90. Cost per machine setup is 90. What is the question expecting us to find is machine setup cost per unit. Now talking about product S, in one setup, how many units are processed? In one batch, how many units are processed? 50. So can I say I get cost per unit as 90 divided by 50, which is 1.8. Number of units in one batch of product is 50. So what is my setup cost per unit of S? It will be 90 divided by 50, which is 1.80.
Sir, how do we get 90?
90, I found it as 180,000 divided by 2,000. Okay. So my answer is option B. Yes, Agamjot.
Sir, I was asking about 90 only. Yes.
Okay, okay. Everyone got this, guys? Any question? Okay, great. Should we go to the next question then, everyone? Should we take up the next question? Perfect. Identify by selecting the relevant boxes in the table below whether the following statements regarding ABC are true or false. ABC recognizes that some overhead costs do not depend directly on the volume of output.
True, sir.
True. If you remember, we had discussed that not all overheads are volume related. Not all overheads are volume related. Okay. Now, just this example that we consider setup cost. See, even if I produce 25 units or I produce 50 units, my cost per setup is still going to remain the same. Agree? Or even if I produce 5 units in one batch, the cost per setup is still going to remain the same. So not all overheads are volume related. Question next, the cost of implementing ABC may exceed the benefits for some businesses. We had discussed that if the majority of the overheads are volume related, then ABC will not be of much value. Answer is true. Answer is true. Fine. Okay. Using ABC, what is the overhead cost per unit of the product? Okay. The budgeted overheads of Nembro company for the next year have been analyzed as follows. We have purchase order processing costs, production run setup costs, machine running costs. Okay. All are in thousands. All are in thousands. Now this is where ACCA will start playing you, guys. They will give you certain numbers in absolute amounts, like full numbers, and some will be in thousands. So if you see here, they have given you full numbers. So you will have to be mindful of converting the numbers in full, right? And not take them directly. It is anticipated that machines will run for 32,000 hours. 6,000 purchase orders will be processed and there will be 450 production runs. One of the company's products is produced in batches of 500 Now, each batch requires a separate production run. That is, guys, you have to be mindful of grammar over here. A separate production run. A separate production run means one. 30 purchase orders and 750 machine hours. Using ABC, what is the overhead cost per unit of the product? I'm giving you guys 3 minutes. Try this out. Srishti, these questions are from what I say is the study hub, the practice questions. The quiz questions will be your homework. These are practice questions. Okay, I got one answer is option C. Guys, switch your cameras on, everyone. Okay, one more student confirmed option C. Agam, jo 38.3, is it a typo that you have made? Because I cannot see 38.3 in any of the options. Just confirm it. I copy and paste these costs. Total cost is 450,000, 180,000 and 640,000. What will be the cost driver for purchase order processing costs? Number of purchase orders. Production run setup costs. Number of production runs. Machine running costs. Number of machine hours. What are the total number of purchase orders? 6,000. Total number of production runs? 450. And total number of machine hours is 32,000. I simply divide. Now, this is not my answer, right? This is not my answer. I will have to multiply this by each of them. What is the calculation? I write calculation of batch cost. What is my batch cost? Firstly, I have purchase order, production run, and machine running costs. Purchase order will be 75 multiplied by, they are saying each batch requires a separate production run. A means 1. So I multiply 75 by 1. So this is 75 multiplied by 1. Now talking about production run, each batch requires, sorry, purchase order, my bad guys, my bad. Purchase order 30, right? So it will be 75 multiplied by 30 purchase orders per batch. 75 multiplied by 30. Production run 400 multiplied by 1. A separate production run. And machine running costs, how much guys? 750 machine hours. And per hour, it costs us how much? 20? I get total cost. But they are not asking me the total cost. They are asking me cost per unit. Now in one batch, how many units are there? 500. So I will divide this total cost by 500, number of units in a batch. Everyone got this? Everyone? Just confirm. Guys, just feel free to ask me the questions. Huh? Do not shy away. Do not hesitate.
Sir, I am not able to understand how to select these particular cost drivers.
Okay, so how to select a cost driver, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let us pay attention to the question. Now we have the three costs with us. Purchase order processing costs, we have production run setup costs, and we have machine running costs. Now see, they will not give us directly that which cost driver for which particular cost. We have to apply a logic over here. Now I know that we have three different cost drivers that are given to us over here. Okay, so for three different costs, they have given me three cost drivers. Now, if you pay attention, it is anticipated that machines will run for 32,000 hours. So tell me, where should I use the machine hours? You only tell me. Machine will run for 32,000 hours.
Machine running cost.
Machine running cost, perfect. So for machine running cost, I will use 32,000 hours. Next, 6,000 purchase orders will be processed. So where do I find purchase order? First one,
Processing cost.
so I will divide 450,000 by 6,000. And there will be 450 production runs. So where do you find production run? Obviously this one. So you will divide 180,000 by 450. Got it? So in a way, hint will be given to us in the question. There will be hint which will be given to us. Now what I did is I divided it by the units of cost driver. So I got cost per unit of cost driver. How did I get 75? 450,000 divided by 6,000. How did I get 400? 180,000 divided by 450. And how did I get 20? 640,000 divided by 32,000. Understood? Now, what are they asking me is, what did they ask me in the question is, what is the overhead cost per unit of the product? See, we know one thing, that the production is carried out in batches of 500. And each batch of 500 requires one production run, 30 purchase orders, and 750 machine hours. So what I will do is, I know cost per unit of cost driver. Now first one is purchase order, right? First one is purchase order. So I will do 75 multiplied by purchase order is 30. So 75 multiplied by 30. Second is number of production runs. So how many production runs do we have for one batch? One. Because they have used a separate production run. So obviously it means one. Okay. And last one is number of machine hours, cost per unit of cost driver. It is 20 per machine hour. Likewise, how many machine hours?
750.
So I multiply it by 750. I get total cost. But this total cost is for 500 units. They asked us cost per unit. So I divide this by 500. Got it?
Got it. Okay, thanks.
No problem. Which of the statements is or are correct? The following statements have been made about ABC. Introducing ABC will always reduce costs in the short term. If the cost of a product or service using both ABC and absorption costing is same, there will be no benefit to be gained from adopting ABC. Tell me. Guys, first statement is incorrect. They are saying introducing ABC will always reduce costs in the short term. Now, please try to understand the logic behind ABC. Now, what happens in ABC is you get to know, just a minute, you get to know what activity drives cost. Now, if you can identify the activity that is driving your cost, don't you think you will be able to control that activity? And if you control that activity, it will help you save cost. And this reduction in cost does not happen in the short term, guys. It happens in the long run. So option 1 is incorrect. Option 1 is incorrect. Now talking about second, if the cost of a product or a service using both ABC and absorption costing is the same, there will be no benefit to be gained from adopting ABC. Now again the same thing. ABC, it gives you an insight into the costs. What drives your cost? If you know what is driving your cost, you can control the cost, right? And this is one of the benefit of ABC. Just calculation of true cost is not your, what I say is benefit of ABC. Another benefit is cost reduction in the long run. So both are incorrect. Means which of the statement is or are correct? Neither one nor two. Everyone understood? Srishti is laughing. Why, Srishti? Clear, sir. Okay, everyone. Two only. Okay. I don't know why is she laughing. Question 7. Guys, try this out. If we are done with this topic, I'm leaving you early because this is the first lecture. Okay. I'm not that kind of strict faculty. I hope you will enjoy learning PM with me. Okay, my FR students know me well. So yes, I'm not starting any new topic for the day. Okay, I don't want to go information overload on day one, or else your perception towards me will change. कि sir बहुत खड़ूस है. Okay, so yes, what is the distribution cost for this customer? Joke, the guys, that was just a joke. Okay, what is the distribution cost for this customer to the nearest dollar? And when they are saying to the nearest dollar, you have to round it off, guys. Okay. Siemens company uses ABC. The budgeted uh, the budgeted distribution cost for the next year are as follows. I have transport costs, I have order processing costs, and we have total distribution costs. Where is Kanika? Kanika, help me out with the
Yeah.
cost driver for the costs. They have given us two costs. They have also given us the cost drivers. Help me out with the cost, selecting the cost driver for the cost. 3,25,000 orders. Where should I take? Transport cost or order processing?
Order processing.
Order processing. Perfect. It is estimated that 3,25,000 orders will be processed in the next year and that the delivery vehicles will travel 14,95,000 kilometers. Where should I use this?
Transport cost.
Transportation costs. Perfect. A customer has indicated that 138 orders, each requiring an average journey of 122 kilometers, will be placed next year. Can we do this, everyone? Giving you 2 minutes. It's quite simple. 2631,200 divided by 14,95,000 multiplied by 122 kilometers. And 15,73,000 divided by 3,25,000 orders multiplied by 138.
Or B is the answer.
Answer is B. I'm solving it. Pay attention. Those who did not get. What are the transport costs? 26,31,200. What are the number of kilometers? Total number of kilometers? 14,95,000. So what is my cost per kilometer? So what is the total kilometers traveled for customer order? This is given to me. 122 multiplied by, see, 122 kilometers is for one order. Likewise, we have how many orders? 138. Understood? Everyone got this? Now, what is my total transport costs? 1.76 multiplied by 16,836, which is 29,631. But this is not my answer. We are yet to consider order processing costs. Correct? What are the order processing costs? 15,73,000. And total number of orders? Three lakh 25,000. What is my cost per order? I divide. Now, cost per order, total number of orders are 138. So what is my total ordering cost? I multiplied. So what is my total distribution costs? This plus 668, which is option B. How many of you got this correct? Kanika, any question? Any doubt? I can see the question mark on the face. Please ask your question if you have.
Yes, I had reached this one. Total transportation cost 29,651.
You got
And
this?
calculated this one also 4.84.
Okay.
Then why we have not considered 138 into 122 at this place total ordering cost? I
Okay.
have
Correct. Now see, can you read
multiplied.
the statement for all of us? Can you read the statement aloud? The one that I have highlighted?
A customer has indicated that 138 orders, each requiring an average journey of 122 kilometers,
Will be
will be
placed next
placed
year.
next year.
So see, the idea is clear. One place, we are finding out total kilometers traveled. And another place, I am finding out the total number of orders. So here, I have to find out total kilometers that are traveled. They are saying that each order will require an average journey of 122 kilometers. Likewise, how many orders are there?
138.
So 138 times 122 will give me the total kilometers traveled. See, what have you
Yes.
found over here,
So,
Kanika? Pay attention. What have you found over here? What is the unit over here? Can you read this aloud?
cost per kilometer
So you will multiply this
1.76
by, you will multiply this with the total kilometers traveled. Understood?
Yes. So yes,
Now,
yes. Till
now
this
talking
part
about
I
here,
understood.
now talking about here, what have you found out?
Cost per order.
So what you will multiply this with? Total number of orders and not the total
Per
number of
order.
kilometers.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay.
So what are the total number of orders over here?
138.
So you will simply multiply it by 138. If I say that cost per apple, cost per kg of apple is 150, what will you do? 150 multiplied by the number of kgs of apple, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the same logic, cost per order will be multiplied by, why is this happening? Cost per order will be multiplied by the number of orders. Got it?
Got it. Got it. And after this, we had just
Multiplied it.
total ordering
Yes, I
cost
multiplied it.
668.
Yes, 4.84 multiplied by 138. I multiplied it. And I took the sum total of this two. Sum total of this two. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yes.
I'm zooming out a bit. Try this question, everyone. I guess I will have to take it here. This is better now. What is the budgeted overhead cost per unit of product D using ABC? A company manufactures two products, C and D, for which the following information is available. Budgeted production in units, labor hours per unit in total, number of production runs required for each of the product, and number of inspections during production. I have total production setup costs, total inspection costs, and other overhead costs. Other overhead costs are absorbed based on labor hours per unit. Okay, so 96,000, I will be taking labor hours as a base. Everyone understood? I will be taking labor hours as a base for other overhead costs. For total inspection costs, I have number of inspections. For total production setup costs, I have number of production runs required. Okay, giving you 2 minutes, guys. Try this out. Again, you have to find it out for product D. I will be back in 2 minutes. Till then, please solve this. Okay, anyone with the answer? Please show me the 2931.4. Okay, this is too old. Okay. I got one answer is B. No. This is the old one. Ruchita, which format were you asking? Shall we consider the format as a standard format for A/B costing? Which format?
So the format that you have mentioned in the previous calculations, no, where you mentioned, I think the cost driver, there was this tabular form. Yes, that
Yes.
one. So that
Consider
should be
this
the
as a
standard one?
standard. Yes.
Right, sir.
Consider this as a standard pro forma.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I'm solving. Pay attention. Question number 8. Okay, so I'll go by this way only. I have the total cost for each of them. And these are full only, right? We need to confirm it. Yes, these are full. Or else they would have written dollar thousands or dollar millions. They have not written nothing. So these are the full amount. What would be the cost driver for total production setup costs? Number of production runs, correct? Number of production runs would be the cost driver for production setup costs. For total inspection costs, my cost driver will be number of inspections. For other overhead costs, they have clearly told me that these are absorbed based on labor hours per unit. So it will be number of labor hours. So what are the units of cost driver? What are the total number of production runs that we have? 13 plus 15. See, even though they are asking me for product D only, I need to consider the total production runs required because I want to find out the cost per production run. Okay. Total inspection costs.
For 8.
5 plus 3, which is 8. And guys, labor hours, pay attention. They are saying that budgeted production, I have 1000 multiplied by per unit of product. See, we are taking 8 hours plus 4000 multiplied by 10. Everyone understood how did I get total labor hours? 1000 into 8, 8000 for product C and 4000 into 10, which is 40,000 for product D. So total is 48,000. Now what I do is I simply divide. Everyone understood this. Now what is the overhead cost? Overhead cost for product D. What is the setup costs, inspection costs, and other overheads? What are the total number of setups for product D? 15. That is number of production runs 15. And per production run, it is 5,000. Inspection costs, number of inspection for D is 3. multiplied by how much for per inspection? 10,000? And other overheads. Guys, please be mindful over here. I need to find out the total labor hours, which is 4,000 multiplied by 10, the total labor hours. And per labor hour, my cost is coming out to 2. I'll put this into brackets so you will understand. It will become easy for you. So setup costs 15 multiplied by 5,000. Inspection costs 3 multiplied by 10,000. And this is 4,000 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 2. I take the total, guys, which is 1,85,000. This is not my answer. They have asked us per unit. How many total number of units are we budgeting?
4,000.
4,000. So I will have to divide this 185,000 by 4,000. How did I get this? 185,000 divided by 4,000. So answer is option B. How many of you got this? It's fine if you got it wrong. That's fine. I just want to know that how many of us are getting comfortable with this topic. Agamjot, okay. Anyone, any question or doubt in this? Any questions, any doubts, anyone? Okay, then we move on to the next question, question number 9. Which three of the following statements about activity-based costing and traditional costing systems are correct? No over-absorption or under-absorption of overheads can occur under ABC. ABC is useful for businesses which have high overheads in their cost structure. ABC is not suitable for use in businesses that provide services. That's incorrect, guys. ABC is applicable to all. Whether you are in a goods industry or a service industry, ABC is applicable to both. Marginal costing understates the true cost of a product when compared to ABC. ABC is better than absorption costing in understanding what causes costs to be incurred. I guess this is correct. Both ABC and marginal costing treat all fixed cost as product cost. This is incorrect because marginal costing treats fixed cost as a period cost and not as a product cost. Okay. So the answer is B. Useful for businesses which have high overheads in their cost structure. Marginal costing understates the true cost of a product when compared to ABC. Obviously correct. Because what is happening in case of marginal costing? You are taking the fixed factory overheads directly to the P&L. So you do not get a true cost of a product. No, true cost as in the cost, product cost under marginal costing will be lower as compared to ABC, because in ABC we are following absorption costing. So whatever is the fixed overheads, we add it to the cost of the product. But in case of marginal costing, what we are doing is we are directly taking these costs to P&L. Everyone understood why D is the correct answer? And obviously option E. Okay, so answer is B, D, and E. And the last question for the day. Guys, take 2 minutes, solve it out, and then we wind up. Okay. Read the question for yourself. First, read the requirement part and then the main question. Just treat it like an exam question. Okay. Just imagine that you are sitting under an exam environment. You are sitting in an exam environment. Maribella company makes a range of products and sells them online. It uses activity-based costing to allocate costs to its products. Now, its two most successful products are ABC1 and ABC2, but it makes approximately 20 other products in its factory. The company processes and dispatches 12 million orders each year over its entire product range. Now, information relating to ABC1 and ABC2 is as follows. Sales volume in units and average order size in units. I'm sorry, guys. Sales volume, I have 10 million for ABC1, 2.4 million for ABC2. Average order size in units, I have 8 for ABC1 and 1.2 for ABC2. The total packing and dispatching cost pool for Maribella company is $18 million each year. What is the packing and dispatching cost per unit of ABC1 to 2 decimal places? This is irrelevant, guys. This is irrelevant. Sales volume of both the product is irrelevant over here. I know the total cost is 18 million. Total packing and dispatching pool. And I know that the company processes and dispatches 12 million orders each year. Understood? So you will be getting cost per dispatch. Now you must be having a question, sir, why is the sales unit irrelevant? Guys, is it necessary that in one dispatch there will be one unit only? Or in one dispatch there will be, is it possible? The answer is no. They have told that average order size for ABC1 is 8 units. Meaning to say that one dispatch will contain 8 units in case of ABC1. So I do not consider the number of units that I have sold. I will have to consider the total number of dispatches that have taken place. And in one dispatch, there can be 4 units, there can be 12 units, there can be 10 units, there can be 1 unit, and so on. So can I say you have total packing and dispatching cost pool 18 million? You also have the number of dispatches that have taken place during the year, which is 12 million. So 18 million divided by 12 million, you will get some answer. That will be cost per dispatch. That will be cost per dispatch. In the question, are they asking us per dispatch or per unit of ABC1? Per unit of ABC1. So you will further divide it by 8 because in one dispatch, there are 8 units. So what is per unit cost? Guys, how do you write 18 million? Pay attention. In exam, when will lakhs turn into crores or crore turn into lakhs? You will yourself not know. 18E6 is 18 million. So what does E6 tell me? That put 6 zeros after 18. So 18 million will be written as 18E6. And what is the total number of dispatches? $12 million. So 12 million will be written as 12E6. So what is my cost per dispatch? $1.5. Average order size of ABC1, 8. So what is cost per unit of ABC1? It will be 1.5 divided by 8. Answer is option D. How many of you got this? Any question, queries, do let me know before we wind up the class today. Tell me guys, any question or doubts, anyone?
Sir, can you explain one more time?
Sure. See, what is the total packing and dispatching cost? 18 million. What I did is I divided 18 million by the total number of orders that were dispatched during the year, which is $12 million. So I got cost per packing and dispatching, which is 1.5. And I divided this 1.5 by 8. Why? Because the average order size is 8. So 1.5 divided by 8 gives me 0.19, which is my answer.
Okay.
Everyone understood? So PM as such is quite logical and interesting subject. You just need to have a presence of mind. That's it, guys. You just need to have a presence of mind and you will be able to crack it. Yes, Tejovati.
So good evening. Could you please go to question number 8?
Question number 8, sure.
Why did we took both the product C's and D's cost while calculating the cost per unit of horse drivers? I didn't understand that part.
See, because you have been using this for both the products C and D. See, you have the total cost, right? You have incurred this cost that they have given us 1,40,000 is both for product C and product D.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem. Any other question, guys? Agamjot, 18 million was directly given to us in the question.
Yes, sir.
Guys, tell me if we have any questions or any doubts, or we can wind up. Guys, just take access to the WhatsApp link, group link over here before I wind up the lecture. Okay, perfect. Now, guys, you know your homework. All those who have received the credentials of ACCA portal, you can start solving questions from the ACCA study hub. I had told you the quiz questions. So the classwork questions you have to do by default. That goes without saying. In addition to that, you will also have to do the quiz questions. So you have 10 plus 5, 15 questions for this week. So 7 days, not 7 days, 6 days. So if I divide 15 by 6, you have to do somewhere around 2.5 questions per day. Please do not give me the answer like on Saturday, sir, I did not get time. Please don't tell me that you did not get time for 3 questions a day. Everyone? Okay, now guys, to avoid any miscommunication or misunderstanding, I won't be sharing the Excel sheet directly with you guys. I will be forwarding it to the team. The team will then upload it and then you will be getting the access. Okay? I will be sharing the Excel sheet not directly but through the team. Everyone got this?
Which sheet are you asking?
Yes, Kavish.
Sir, I joined late and even I was not aware that today is the class. So Sangeeta shared me the link. I joined at 1:45. So can you go through me a little bit? So what was happened there?
So in the 15 minutes time, we did not discuss anything as such. I just shared the rules that you have to follow in my class. The cameras have to remain on. Mics always remain shut. Unless you have a doubt, you can unmute, raise your hand, unmute yourself, and then ask me a question before I call out your name. No using mobile phones when the lectures are going on. You have to be regular and consistent with the homework that I give. So these were the only part that we had discussed. I had even done a walkthrough to the ACCA study hub. So for that, what you can do is you can wait for a day or a two. In that time, this recording will get uploaded. Okay.
So for the next class, like sir, from whom I'll get the communication, like because type class is not showing in the app that I got.
Okay. So Kavish, what you can do is reach out to the team on Monday, that is tomorrow itself after 10:30 a.m. and you can share your issue with them. Because I believe 2 or 3 of you guys were not able to access the class through the LMS, right? So you can reach out to them that we faced this particular challenge in yesterday's class. They will help you out for this. Just
Sir,
reach out to the support
okay,
team.
so last question, sir. We can go for the exam in December, right?
Yes, you have to write the exam in December only.
So when we'll expect this class to be ended? This course is will be ended in how many months?
Too early to comment because this is just the first day. Then also I will tell you, you can assume 15 to 20 days prior to your exam date, we will be done with the syllabus.
So it will be good to go with the exam 15 days.
Sorry?
It is good to go if we'll get this class over 15 days before the exam. That will be okay. I mean to say I mean to say we'll get the sufficient time. 15 days is the good time.
Yes, 15 days is a good time. That's why I have started giving you homework from right away, right? That on a weekly basis, you will be practicing all the questions that I am doing in class.
Yes, sir. So that's the last question. This one from the book, as you cleared from from the book. Right now, I don't have the ACCA portal study hub, whatever you were saying, because I did not have the registration till now. So in the book, but I have to solve now this in the I got the book only.
So what you can do is, Kavish, just solve the questions that we have done in class 4 now. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Once you receive the ACCA credentials, you can start practicing questions from the study hub. Guys, one more important announcement. I am clear from day one only. Do not wait for me to complete the entire syllabus and then you will be starting your self-study. No, guys, it does not work that way. Because the 15 to 20 days that you have, you will be focusing more on section C questions at that time. So do not wait for me to complete the entire syllabus. Start it from this week only. Okay? Why do you want to gather all the things at once? See, I have even made your job easy this time by keeping 3.5 hour lecture instead of 3 hours. Now 30 minutes seems small only, but collectively in a month we are getting 4 hours extra. So maybe this time we will be able to complete syllabus. I'm not guaranteeing. I will also have to see your learning speed. I will see. I customize the lectures as per your needs. So I am not saying that I will be completing portion in this time only. No. I don't go at my speed. I go at your speed. So 1 or 2 weeks time, I will get to know that how well are we standing. So maybe we will be able to complete portion 25 days prior to exam this time. Maybe. And this is not a commitment that I'm giving you. Okay, everyone. So this time I have kept the class 30 minutes extra. So 3.5 hours class. Previous attempt, it was just a 3 hour class. So we were able to complete the portion 15 to 20 days prior the exam date. Okay. So yes, do whatever I tell you to do religiously. Start practicing the questions from tomorrow only. And yes, we are done with chapter 2 from the study hub, cost and management accounting. Okay. So you have to practice these 10 questions that we have done in class plus 5 questions from the quizzes. Okay. Everyone. Okay. Chalo. Bye bye. Take care. See you all on Saturday at the same time, 1:30 p.m. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.